Good morning. My name is Kenny Blocker. I'm the district manager. We just wanted to come out and have a few words and kind of have a conversation and kind of discuss kind of some things that happened last year or maybe even before that, since it's been a while since we've met, and then go forward and look, see what's going to happen this year. So I do appreciate everyone coming out. So what's changed since the last time we've met and the last time we've had any conversations? Well, there's been a lot of personnel changes. So for one, I was named district manager by the Village Center Board last January. Ms. Carrie Duckett is the deputy district manager. Ms. Brittany Wilson is the assistant district manager. Mr. Bruce Brown is the assistant district manager. Brandy Cook is the budget director. She took over for Barbara Kays, who had been here for, I think, 15 years in that position. So Brandy has stepped up to that challenge and has done well. Jennifer Leonoris is the finance director. She took over for Ann Hochsprung in that position, who Ann actually took over for me in that position. So Jennifer has stepped up. Pam Webb is the HR director, who took the place of Deb Franklin. So Deb was here for quite a few years, and Pam has taken that position, and we very much appreciate her hard work and commitment to the district. Matt Armstrong is the resident services director. He came over from recreation, so we appreciate that. And then we have Maddie Gwynn, our communications coordinator. Thank you for coming aboard, Maddie. Doing a great job. And then Rich O'Brien is our fleet administrator. So if you haven't had a chance to meet Rich, he's taking care of all the fleet, the fuel, and everything to do with the transportation. So we appreciate that. He's doing a great job working with Enterprise and our fleet, our fuel facility. So that's kind of what has changed in the personnel ranks within the district since the last time we met. So we just wanted to kind of show you on the org chart what that kind of looks like. You can see we all work for all the development districts. And then you see myself, I have the budget department, finance, purchasing, public safety, and HR. To the far right, Brittany Wilson has the clerks, information technology, and fleet services. Mr. Brown has DPM, District Property Management, Utilities, and Sanitation. And then behind the curtain, if you can see that, Carrie Duckett has Rec and Parks, Community Watch, Executive Golf, Communications, and Resident Services. So a lot of span of control has been divvied up amongst all the assistant district managers and deputy district manager. To include board responsibilities. So previously, the district manager went to every district board meeting. They managed that process. And one of the things that we have done is we kind of divvied up the load, so to speak. We've looked at the span of control and said, how best can we serve these boards with the employees and the staff that we have? So we decided to split it up, and it originally started actually by kind of by default. When Mr. Bear went out on, when his illness happened, Carrie and I actually sat down and said, okay, we got to take care of all these districts, how are we going to do it? So we took that same model and applied it to all the assistant district managers and deputy and myself. So you can see, I take care of the boards for Village Center, Sumter Landing, the Project-Wide Advisory Committee, Brownwood, District 14, Middleton, Community, Coleman Ridge, and all the future districts that are coming aboard. I'll onboard them and get them up and going. Carrie does the AAC, District 1, 2, 3, and 4, District 7, District 12 and 13. Bruce does NSCUD and Wood, District 9 and District 10, and Brittany does Districts 5, 6, 8, and 11. So that's kind of how we've divvied up the workload. So if you're at Savannah, you'll see several of us there. If you're at Seabreeze, you'll probably see all of us there because we all go to Seabreeze. And then of course Everglades, we are all down there as well. That's the three main centers for our board meetings: Savannah, Seabreeze, and Everglades. And we'll be at Seabreeze Monday morning. We'll kick off the month of October with board meetings. So one of the things I wanted to do is kind of give a look back. Since it's been a while since we've kind of met and talked and had a conversation, I wanted to show you what's happened since the last time we've met. So our budget for last fiscal year was approximately $400 million. And when we build our budget, we always look at building our budget based on our core values. hospitality, stewardship, innovation, creativity, and hard work. But below those, there's some additional pillars that we certainly look at when we're building our budget. And this past year and the current year, we've looked at these pillars to try to make sure we address customer service, which is paramount to everything we do. Growth, we do know growth is happening, so we have to make sure we plan for that growth. Inflation, has anybody went to the gas station lately? Grocery store? How much is a dozen eggs? A lot. So used to, you go to the grocery store and spend $100, now you spend $200 and you say, I didn't even get a thing. So inflation is really hitting us hard. It's hitting us hard as well on our contracts. We see our contract pricing increasing. So we have to plan for that and make sure we have adequate funds to be able to take care of those inflationary increases that we see happening. It also will do the amenity fees. So we now have people seeing amenity fees increase on their annual change by 8 and 9%. We don't see CPI changing here in the next few months either. The next print comes out next week. We'll see what that shows us, but it'll probably still be running in the 8% range, I would assume. Planning. Planning is very much one of our key pillars that we look at because we have to plan for the future. Because this is growing, consistently growing day in and day out, so we have to make sure we plan. We plan for not only making sure our assets are taken care of, but we also have to plan for our human capital, right? We got to make sure we have the people here to make sure we make this place run and run like we do today. So those are the core values and then the core pillars that we look at building the budget. So one of the new districts that came on since we've last met is District 13, south of 44 in the city of Wildwood, about 2,500 acres. And it was organized in 2018, and we've issued 3 phases worth of bonds down there. So I think they're pretty much done with the issuance, and they're still selling houses down there. But that's just another district that we've taken on the management of. District 14, that's our newest one. That is in the city of Leesburg. So if you go south on Megason, you keep on going till you hit the dirt road, and they got a few postals down there. They got a few rec centers they're building. That's District 14 in the city of Leesburg. That's our newest one that we just brought on. We just issued bonds back in July, I believe it was. So they are the new residential district that'll soon start seeing some homes and start seeing new people move in down there, and that is in the city of Leesburg. So remember, we are in the town of Lady Lake, town of Fruitland Park, city of Leesburg, city of Wildwood, Sumter County, Marion County, and Lake County. Did I mess anyone? So we're in a lot of municipalities. We have to work together with all those cities and counties. So we appreciate all our partners. So some of the things District Property Management has been working on this past year, they've had a lot of accomplishments. They've went through and did a complete inventory and planning for all their sports courts renovations, whether it be tennis, pickleball, bocce ball, and pools. Some of these pools hadn't been redone in 17, 18 years. So they have been really working hard to get those back up to shape, back up to speed, and have that continuous plan to make sure they continue year after year in maintaining that asset. So they've done yeoman's work on that. One of their big accomplishments this year was First Responders Rec Center. A beautiful facility. Is that right? 2 thumbs up, that's right. So it was a vision from the AAC, the Amenity Authority Committee, several years ago, and it finally came to fruition. And it is just a beautiful facility that they converted from a church to a rec center. And I tell you, if you haven't seen it, you really need to go up there. We'll show you a video here in a little bit of it. It's very, very nice. The other project from Property Management is the Lake Meona Walking Trail. So the project-wide committee approved it through their Sumter Landing amenity funds. And it's a walking trail from Lake Meona Rec Center for about 1.5 miles. It's made out of flexi-pave. You've probably seen it driving down Buena Vista. It had a little weathered look on it after the storm, but I think the sod has come now. They're able to start doing the landscaping and to finish it and the ribbon cutting should be end of the month. So we're very, very happy with that new amenity that they approved us to put in. Executive Golf has been busy. They've been doing a lot of capital improvement projects with some of the par four holes on the executive courses, Yankee, Clipper, Palmetto, and Volusia. So they're maintaining those assets as well on the golf side. Because as you can see, they play about 1.8 million rounds of golf a year. That's a lot of golf. It's a lot of divots, right? And we don't always put back our divots like we're supposed to, or put sand in the hole, or so Mitch and his team have to really go out there and make sure they maintain that asset. So they also working on Mira Mesa. That's a golf course up on the north side, and that will consist of new greens, tees, fairways, and bunkers. So he's always consistently, just like DPM, planning for the future. Golf is planning for the future and maintaining all those assets. Rec additions. Going south, we have new rec centers, that being Citrus Grove, St. John's, Ezell, DeLuna, Case and Hammock, Homestead, and First Responders, of course, is a new one up on County Road 42. Oops. And here's their location. You can just see where they're at. But remember, as the community grows, not only do they grow with people and houses, they grow with rec centers and golf courses. So we have to be prepared to make sure we have staff available to work at those locations. Once again, the First Responders Rec Center grand opening was in July. It was a beautiful day. We had a great day. I think we even had the helicopter fly over. We had a magnificent grand opening there. And we just had National Night Out located there on Tuesday, and we had a great turnout for that as well. And I think the bunk cakes went very rapidly. So I forget how many dozens there were, but there was no dozens left at the end of the day. So here's a little video about the rec center.
It's amazing looking at this. I know every rec center has a theme, and they're all beautiful. Whoever does the designing does a very good job. But this is amazing looking at all the memorabilia here. I don't know where they came up with all of these fireman helmets here. They look like they're all pretty old, and I guess they're police hats over there and all throughout the facility. It's just amazing looking at all this stuff. I think honoring the first responders is very nice. They certainly deserve it. So I love the color, the patriotic color theme of red, white, and blue all around. So it is a very nice facility here.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And to have him be part of it is pretty awesome.
I was a police officer for almost 30 years in the Chicago area. I donated a bunch of items in there, and they're all on the wall.
It shows for his career, just to have a memory that'll always be there. Part of the Villages. Pretty cool.
What a really incredible rec center. It is just, without a doubt, our honor. It's very privileged to have something like this here in the Villages.
I did about 40 years in law enforcement, 27 with the Baltimore City Police Department, and whenever I have people come here to visit, I would definitely take them here to show all the work that the Villages have done to show their appreciation to the first responders.
It's just an honor to be able to be here, to be able to see everything on the inside of the building, honoring my brothers and sisters from all types of law enforcement, EMS, firefighters, even military. It's just an overwhelming feeling to be able to have such pride and joy in one spot.
It's amazing. People need to come out and see this unbelievable facility.
Just over a year ago, we were at this site and we did our groundbreaking. Today, we are here to admire the recreation center you helped bring to life.
This recreational facility is a direct reflection of our dedication to the future of this great community and uphold our commitment to providing our residents with the world-class amenities that you've come to expect. And we are forever grateful to the heroes who serve and have served across our great nation. In addition, I'd like to give special thanks to our donors Thank you for helping us to make this facility so special.
Sitting on 20 acres, this premier recreation center offers world-class amenities, specially selected for the residents of the villages, with outdoor facilities including an 18-hole putting course, resort-style pool, fire pit, lawn bowling, croquet, basketball, platform tennis, and pickleball, to name just a few. There's something for everyone to enjoy here. We look to the future with anticipation of the pleasure this new amenity will bring to residents of the villages for years to come.
Now, are you guys ready to do a ribbon cutting?
This place is amazing. You know, the villages, you can see in every aspect of what they do here, and they have just taken this to the next level. And being actually ex-law enforcement myself, I can really appreciate every aspect and what they've done here, and it's just very, very proud just to set foot in this establishment.
Beautiful place, right? I tell you, it was a combination of the AAC, the Village Center, the residents, DPM, recreation. The whole team put together a great recreation center. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's beautiful. So thank you to everyone who had a piece of that construction project. So that was kind of a look back of last year and maybe a year before that, before the last time we spoke. So I just want to kind of give you a reflection upon where we've been, and now kind of want to give you a forward look as to where we're going, just to kind of give you some information. Our budget, you see, has kind of grown. Remember before, 400 million, now it's 460 million. That's a reflection upon bringing on new districts into the fold. So once again, our core values, hospitality, stewardship, innovation, creativity, and hard work, is the pillar amongst what we build our budgets off of. And our subgroup, customer service, growth, inflation, and planning, is still very, very vital right now. Customer service is always vital because that's what we do. Growth continued because the growth is here. The growth won't be stopping for 20 years, so we're always going to plan for growth. And inflation, unfortunately, it's not going anywhere for another year or two. There is signs of a recession coming on, so we have to be prepared for that. And planning, we have to make sure we're planning to make sure that we're taking care of you, the staff, and also our assets that we're tasked to take care of. Oops. Anybody seen one of these driving around recently? So October 1st at 12:01 a.m., Chief Kane and the fire department took on ambulance service. So we have purchased 12 ambulances, 9 are out there in the field, and they've done a great job in transition. I think it's been smooth as far as what I've heard. How many calls you run a day? 80 calls a day? 80 calls a day for ambulance service they've been running. So they've been doing an excellent job. We saw one today. So it's a proud feeling to know that our VPSD staff is taking care of the residents at the next level with ambulance service They were already doing it with fire and EMS, and now they're doing it with the ambulance as well. So thank you, Chief Kane, and to all the crew at the VPSD for this transition and making it smooth as silk, and we do appreciate it. So fire stations. So with the transition, October 1st, Sumter County took back Station 46 that was located in Coleman. So we had to do something to make sure we could find them a new home. So Sumter County did deed over a parcel of land on Warm Springs Boulevard. We were fortunate enough to be able to purchase the parcel of land behind that one. So we have about an acre of land that we're going to be building a new home for Station 46. It's currently in the planning stages. We hope to have that up and going by next October. So Station 46 will be revitalized at that location on Warm Springs, right there by Finney. 2 more stations are planned, Station 48 and 49. As we move south, we have to make sure we have fire stations because we look at a 2.5 mile radius essentially to make sure we have ample support for our residents to make sure they have fire, EMS, and medical services when they need it. So 2 more will be online. Now it may be several years, but they are in the planning stages for 48 and 49. Anybody heard anything about the fire district? So November 8th, that will be on the ballot to decide whether to vote to create your own fire district here within the villages. So essentially, what we heard back last year at the Sumter County Board of County Commissioners when they were looking at either forming one big fire department amongst Villages Public Safety in Sumter County and having it all under the umbrella of Sumter County, or would the decision be to keep them separate? They decided to keep it separate. We have a 1-year grant that we're working off of right now. That grant ends September 30th, 2023. So we figured that while all the residents came out and spoke in favor of keeping their VPSD, then let's do the next best thing. Let's create our own independent fire district. That way we're under our own funding mechanism. We control our own destiny. We have our own board to make those decisions that are effectively only for fire and EMS. So that's the decision that the residents within the villages of Sumter County need to make at the voting booth to decide whether to have their own independent fire district. November 8th, you decide. A lot of information on the website as far as why, what the taxes will be, etc. Middleton Community Development District is the newest one coming online. We just issued bonds last week. We'll be closing next week, and it is in the city of Wildwood. This is the first non-age restricted development. So this will be for families coming in. It's right in the middle of where the education center is going to be for K through 12 that they're building down off of 470. So this is the newest community development district, about 2,500 acres, and we're looking forward to this one. It's going to be a little bit unique, a little bit different. But we'll be still the management company taking care of all the issues down there. But it'll be kind of separate from the current villages as you know it today because it's non-age restricted. Coleman Ridge is another non-age restricted district that we're bringing on. We've established that one already. It's about 559 acres. It's off of the Turnpike and 75. That one we'll probably start looking at issuing some bonds and getting them back going in January to start building out that CDD. So once again, this is non-age restricted. It'll be separate from everything else that we're doing, but I just wanted to let you know there's 2 new ones coming on, Middleton and Coleman, but just a little bit different than what we've been used to. Recreation and Parks. So they have a couple new rec centers coming online soon, Lake Oklahoma, Richmond, and Clarendon. So remember, as growth keeps coming with new residents, so does the recreation component. And there you can see the location where they'll be. Property management, staying busy. So one of their biggest chores this year is going to be Paradise. So Paradise Rec Center up on the old historic side. The AAC is pretty much given the green light to demolish and redo the whole thing up there. So if you saw what they did to first responders, we're going to tell them they got to do even better for Paradise, right? So we're not going to hold them to the standard of that one. We want to go higher. We want to go better. So I know DPM is up for the challenge. Right now, the survey is out, looking for information from the residents, and that'll be presented back to the AAC when that's all complete. And then they'll start the design process and going through the entire system as far as that goes, and then getting the permitting, doing the bidding, and then eventually start the demolition and construction of the new Paradise Rec Center. Once again, they set the bar with first responders, so this one's going to be even better, we hope. So good luck in all the endeavors that we continue to move forward with great rec centers. So they have other projects on board too, as far as renovating other rec centers, sport courts, pools, wallpaper, HVAC. Just think, you look at all this wallpaper in here. Eventually it has to come down and new's got to go up. These are big jobs that we have to make sure we take care of. So that's part of the whole planning process. DPM is going to be in charge of building the new Station 46 that I talked about earlier down in Warm Springs. So once those permits are in hand, we'll put the bids out, and then they'll manage that project to build the new fire station. Executive Golf, continue on with the revitalization. They're looking at Hilltop and Briarwood. They'll revitalize those with new greens, tees, fairways, bunker improvements. So once again, golf is continuing to maintain that asset to make it bigger and better every day. They're also looking at Churchill, Belmont, doing the same thing, looking at those tees and greens. Remember, 1.8 million rounds of golf, they have to be taken care of. Because the residents, when they pay their amenity fees and they want to go play golf, they want to make sure they play with a first-class golf course. Mitch and his crew are out there all the time making sure that's happening. HR. So with all this growth, do you think we need new employees? The answer is yes, right? So they have been streamlining the application process and the onboarding process. They hired 263 new employees last year. They're starting a new process with recreation, which it sounds like has been very successful, where they're doing on-the-spot interviews and on-the-spot job offers. So they've been very, I think they have about 100 in the hopper right now that they're bringing on. So this has been a great partnership to where now Community Watch is going to take advantage of that same program, a few tweaks to make sure it meets their needs, and doing some on-the-spot interviews and on-the-spot type of job offers. So once again, HR has been very busy looking at all those recruitment and retention for the staff. So I wanted to talk about a few things, because I really want to focus on the staff and just kind of bring attention to a few people. This is certainly not indicative of everyone. I just wanted to highlight a few people. So the first one on the right, Celeste Poliquin, she's with Finance, Utility, Billing, and Customer Service. So I'm just going to read a few things. So Celeste, she received that little small token you see in her hand from a resident. And the resident she had to work with was hearing impaired. And couldn't understand. He had 2 return checks, bounce checks from his utility bill, didn't understand what was going on, how this was happening. And she was trying to communicate with him. And what she found was she actually drew pictures to help this individual out, to show him how to go to the bank and get a cashier's check to come back to pay the utility bills. She also went one step further and actually showed him how to go to the drop box and make sure that they could pay their utility bills at the drop box. It just was one of those over and above, one of those core values we look at that Celeste went over and above to take that individual in her hand and actually couldn't hear or was hearing impaired, and took it upon herself to draw pictures to show him how to do it. Just a phenomenal job. One of the other ones, Pat Lane and Ed Daly. And I know, Ed, you're here, right? So this is a good one here. Had a resident have an issue on a pickleball court, was non-responsive. Residents called 911. Then they noticed the rec assistant, Pat Lane. She went out and administered the AED. All while Ed was helping out with crowd control, making sure everyone was good to go, getting the EMS medics up there. And basically what the medics said was, without these 2 individuals taking charge, applying the AED, there would have been a different outcome. Fantastic job, and that's a round of applause. Down in the middle, Jim Hurry, took care of a resident at a gate, Shea Gate, very busy gate. If you've been to Shea Gate, you know it's very busy. Traffic backing up, had an individual come through the gate and they were showing signs of a medical condition, a medical issue where they couldn't take care of themselves. He was able to get that person to the side, manage the traffic in the meantime, and then call for help, get their family there and take care of her, but all while making sure it was calm and everyone was okay. And that's just one of those other ones that you look at and say, you know what? He went over and above to take care of that situation, both keeping it safe with the traffic and making sure the individual is taken care of. Another fine job. Randy Wilkerson. So you saw that beautiful First Responders Rec Center. Randy was the project manager on that job with DPM. So we just recognized Randy for going above and beyond the call of duty to make sure that rec center, first of all, came in on time and on budget. So when you do a big construction project, you usually have a bunch of change orders that takes it above budget or over budget. So Randy took care of that. It was just a phenomenal job. The last individual, Joe Alvarez, Joe came across as he was doing his rounds for Community Watch on an individual that was incapacitated, laid out by the car, had been out there for several hours in the cold weather. And he finally heard some sounds and went up and found this individual. Got her, made sure, called EMS, took care of her. She'd been out there for 5 hours, about 60 degrees. So what happened was he made sure that that was taken care of. He got a hold of dispatch and just went above and beyond making sure that he was doing his rounds and taking care of her. But what came out of that as well was some brainstorming ideas out of Community Watch. And they came up with the CHIRP program. Has anyone heard this? I'll demonstrate. 3 chirps. That's what the message says. Because someone in distress can blow the whistle and people can hear it a lot harder or a lot further away than you can if you're just trying to be using your voice. Because a lot of times when you're in distress, your voice can't carry. So the Community Watch team has come up with this CHIRP program, and they're starting to now disseminate it out to everybody to help residents and be safe and secure. So if you see this, pass it along. If people want to see what it is, 3 chirps on the whistle. Another one of those fantastic jobs that we appreciate our employees. So thank you for everybody for that. And I know there's a whole host of other people out there doing this type of thing each and every day. These are just a few we wanted to highlight. But we do thank everybody for doing that. So the last thing I want to talk about too is recognizing a lot of staff that have been here for quite some time. We have a lot of longevity here, and longevity means a couple of things. It means one is they like working here, but they also believe in the core values and that socialization that they bring to work. They carry on those core values and then teach the new employees coming online. So it's very, very valuable to keep a core and senior staff. So you can see we have, through administration, we have employees with 15 years and 10 years. Finance has 10. Community Watch, Dave Paris, 20 years. Fantastic. We have a lot of 15, 10. We just like to recognize this senior leadership that we have within our core ranks of our departments. Chief Kane, 20 years. We just celebrated him last month at the Village Center meeting. A lot of our firefighters, 10 years. Rec and Parks, Don Lane, 25 years. 20 years. I mean, these guys, a lot of time here. You bring on new staff, new employees. These are the guys you want to help train them, teach them the core values, keep that culture in line. So it's just fantastic to see the length of time and length of service that we have with some of our employees. So that we're grateful for, and we want to maintain that. And that's a lot of the stuff that HR is looking for, recruitment and retention. You want to recruit them, but you want to retain them. And that's a key component. So I wanted to tell you a few things that we did in this year's budget for your salary and benefits, what is tomorrow? Payday. Payday, right? Thank God for payday. So we did raise the minimum wage from $10 to $12. We only had to go to 11, but we wanted to start getting ahead of the curve, and we went to 12. The salary increase had a 3% COLA with a 2% compression adjustment for most people. Health insurance premium, no change to the employee premium. I think that's the 3rd year in a row we've had no change to the employee premium for health insurance. We added a high deductible health plan, which allows you to have a health savings account. Very, very important. On your 457, we added the Roth option. I know Bill is happy about that. And then we've offered to our part-time staff dental and vision, where you didn't have that option before. As a part-timer now, you can take advantage of the dental and vision plans. So we're trying to always continuously look out for the staff, for the employees, to see about making it better, having a richer benefit package, part of that recruitment and retention. So I just wanted to say, save the date. For what date, Tamara?
Tuesday, December 13th.
Tuesday, December 13th for our holiday party. We'll send out a notice as to location and time, but I just wanted to give you this little heads up to save that date, because we would like to see everybody there to come and celebrate with us. So I just want to tell you thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. You do a lot of work. There's a lot of conversation out there. Sometimes when we talk to people, they're not usually the happiest people because they have maybe some issue they want you to fix, and you try to fix it. Sometimes they don't like it. But we do try our very, very best to maintain the integrity of this development, to make sure that everyone who bought here, they have exactly what they need and when they want it. And I think we do a pretty good job about that. So I do thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything you do. All right, well, thank you very much.